Welcome into Titans Today. I am Tom Downey. Coming up on this edition of the show, we'll talk free agency. Could Tennessee add another offensive tackle? Could they sign Leonard Fournette? And who's a potential breakout candidate on the defensive side of the football? Before we get into that, we are about halfway through the month of July, and we are in last place in the sub-battle here at Chat Sports. Let's catch up to the Ravens. They're at 69, and that might be nice, but it's not so nice for us. Hit that sub button for more free Titans videos sent to your phone every day, or close to it, and we won't come in last in the process. Hit that sub button, youtube.com/Titans Today. First up is the idea of signing Leonard Fournette, which I hadn't really thought much about for Tennessee until I read the Sports Illustrated article that argued that, hey, Tennessee should add him. Now, background here is that Leonard Fournette, through his agent, through Adam Schefter, made it very clear he still wants to play football. Schefter is saying Fournette is motivated to continue his NFL career and intends to sign with a team before the season. He has hired his former agent, Ari Neeson, and Pat Capra, both of the agency at Chase Your Legend, to help in that pursuit. Leonard's in the best shape of his career, and I expect he will find a new home soon. First off, no, he's not. The list of 29-year-old backs who are in the best shape of their career is like Adrian Peterson, Herschel Walker, and I don't know, maybe a Frank Gore. Derrick Henry may be pushing that conversation, but even then, I think Henry's probably better at age 25. Like, he's not in the best shape of his life. He's just not. And you send that information out because no one showed interest in you so far. Now, here's the pitch, the argument from Sports Illustrated. Tennessee has a crowded running back room with the offseason addition of Tony Pollard and the sophomore out of Tulane, Tyjae Spears. But neither of them have an overwhelming amount of power like Leonard Fournette does. I guess I verbalized the typo change there. Fournette could slide right in at RB3 above 2022 fourth-round pick Hassan Haskins and as the goal line back, and also help mentor this young running back room. That's not the worst argument I've seen in terms of why a team should sign somebody. The valid points there about the power, about the youth in the room as well. Although Tony Pollard's on a second contract, like he needs a bunch of veteran administration, he can probably provide it, given how short shelf lives are at the running back position. You don't have a lot of great power. I think Pollard and or Spears could find a way to kind of tag team their way through that and balance it from that perspective. But it's not necessarily the biggest need, I think. You know, the power back, you're giving them a couple carries a game, right? Maybe you don't need to have massive workloads from that perspective. So would you sign Leonard Fournette? Y for yes, N for no. It'll be the pinned comment, by the way, on this video. So if the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there, Y for yes, N for no. I am going to pass on adding Fournette to Tennessee. Like Sports Illustrated said, he would be RB3 behind Pollard, behind Spears, and you're giving him maybe a couple of touches per game, if that. And in particular, even though I think Spears or Pollard could do it as well, I want my running back 3 to help on special teams. That guy needs to be involved in kick coverage, punt protection, whatever. Most importantly, though, he's just not good anymore. Like, the playoff Lenny is not the guy you're going to get. In fact, he's kind of living off that reputation still to a pretty big extent. 2023, he barely got on the field for Buffalo. And when he did, he wasn't good. You factor in with the decline in 2022, and yeah, the O-lines weren't great maybe in Tampa. They were fine in Buffalo for James Cook. I don't think Fournette actually makes you a better option, gives you a better option, I should say, at this time in the NFL. I just don't think you're going to get any benefits from having Fournette, and you're kind of limiting your own back end of the roster construction, I think, in the process. Now, speaking of free agency, PFF listing one move left for the Titans to make before camp begins. Theirs was to sign yet another offensive tackle. Argument being there is still uncertainty around just who the heck's going to start on the right side of the offensive line. You know, is it Nicholas Petit-Frere? They've added guys like Leroy Watson, Jerron Christian. Sounds like Dylan Radin's going to play more right guard. Jalen Duncan is an option if he ever gets healthy. In fact, I think like everyone but Latham at the tackle spot on this depth chart is an option at right tackle because it's such an uncertainty. Now, they listed 6 names in total that they think could be offensive tackle targets. The big three for them were David Bakhtiari, DJ Humphries, Charles Leno. There was also Cam Erving, Billy Turner, and Conor McDermott as well, with some differing pros and cons to each of those potential pieces. So first up, would you sign another offensive tackle? 1 for yes, 0 for no. We'll break down those 6 names here momentarily, but let me know if you want to add any of those guys in the comments of today's show. Now, David Bakhtiari, I think, only wants to play left tackle, and that's the big issue there. You're playing J.C. Latham at that spot. So I don't really think he's that viable of an option just because of what Tennessee has committed to Latham. He has made the comment publicly that he wants to be the guy, and he's not interested in being the vet backup mentor type. So cross him off the list. Now, maybe DJ Humphries would be more amenable to flipping over to the right side of the offensive line, except he's also coming off of a fairly bad injury, and I don't know when he's actually going to be fully ready to go. He'll get a chance again in the NFL somewhere. The timing and role just might not work out very well for Tennessee. Charles Leno, also a left tackle, despite some retirement implications from some social posts he had made. Unclear if he actually is going to retire. But he was serviceable for the Commanders. He might be your top, well, injury happened to Latham. Let's go get a new left tackle guy, in camp or mid-season or whatever, which obviously I'm not going to hopefully that does not happen. But again, he's a left tackle player. Maybe you try him on the right side, but old guys typically don't like flipping sides at that point in their careers. The other 3 names of PFF saying, they got to get depth, Well, Cam Erving is bad. He can play every spot on the offensive line. It's just that he can't play any of them well. The Saints saw that last year, even though there are really no photos of Cameron with the Saints or his brief disaster tenure with the Panthers or Cowboys. He's a journeyman, 10th offensive lineman. Does he really move the needle for you? Not really. Billy Turner has had some good moments in the NFL, got hurt last year for the Jets, and again, wasn't that great of an impact piece. I think he'd be maybe one of the better right tackle options available. Is he better than Nicholas Petit-Frere? Better than the guys the Titans have already signed, Christian, or traded for Watson? I'm not so sure. There's also Conor McDermott, who we actually did mention briefly on a previous video. Again, you're getting 14 hurries allowed in 222 snaps. You're just not a good pass protector. I can find guys that can, be big people against the run. I need better impact at the pass rusher or at the pass protection angle of it all. Now, you can get the Titans J.C. Latham rookie jersey over at chatsports.com/Latham. Speaking of offensive tackle options there. Link will be in the comments section and the description of today's show. That's chatsports.com/Latham. Finally, could Jack Gibbens have a breakout campaign for Tennessee in the 2024 campaign? That was the pitch of Sports Illustrated listing one breakout player for each team. The pick was Gibbens. I don't hate it, actually. Here's the argument. With Azeez Al-Shaair gone, someone on the defense needs to step up in the tackle department. As an aside, don't just chase tackles. That's normally not all tackles are created equal. Anyway, enter Gibbens, started 13 games last season as an undrafted free agent rookie. He should be a nice complement to new signee Kenneth Murray and 4th-round rookie Cedric Ray. Now, former undrafted free agent rookie, I think, is what was meant to be said there. Anyway, who do you think breaks out for the Titans in the 2024 campaign? Sound off for me in the comments of today's show. Gibbens in his second year on the active roster for Tennessee did start 13 games, played 14 total after starting literally 2 games back in 2022. 95 tackles, 3 TFLs, a sack, a couple pass breakups as well. Was fairly steady, all things considered. Not too bad from a Abilene Christian and also Minnesota linebacker who didn't have a ton of buzz around him coming out of his NFL draft class. Most importantly, perhaps, Brian Callahan, Titans head coach, seems to be intrigued by him, saying, quote, Jack Gibbens has really stood out to me. He's hyper-competitive and has really taken on the leadership role on the defense. I didn't really know anything about him. I knew who he was, but I didn't know much about him, and the process over the spring has been eye-opening to me. He's got something to him. He's got an edge to him. He's the one that I've really enjoyed seeing blossom into a leadership role. Who gets the green dot is a bit of a question mark in Tennessee. Normally it's a linebacker. I think Gibbens will start for this team, probably alongside Kenneth Murray. Gibbens impresses. Why not have a big breakout campaign and become more of a household name, and not just the guy that only the true Titans fans know about?